Recording. Share screen. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. We are
Today,
seeing.
so thank you very much. I welcome all of you to my class today. I will discuss today how to use drama in ELT classes. In the last class, I discussed how to use poetry in English language classes, and today I want to discuss how to use drama in ELT classes. Can you hear me and can you see my screen clearly?
Yes, sir.
And can anyone tell me whether the lecture is being recorded? Do you see on your screen?
Yes, sir. Recording, sir. Record ongoing, sir. Recording
Okay,
ongoing.
thank you very much. I've got the feedback. Now I'm beginning my class. So today, I've already said I'm going to discuss how to use drama in ELT classes. Okay, it may be a class of primary level or a secondary level or a higher secondary level. Okay, it may be any class. You can use drama in any level class. Okay, in a class of any of the three levels. It may be that you are using drama in a class of university level. Suppose you are teaching in university, okay, you are teaching the students of other departments English. You are teaching English to the students of other departments, and there you can also use drama to teach them English language. So it may be a class of any level, from primary to tertiary level. And what things can we teach them by using drama? We can uh, teach them writing and speaking by using drama. These are the two things that we can do very significantly. That means we can help our students learn writing and speaking. We can develop their writing skills and speaking skills by using drama in English language classes. Uh, we can teach them script writing. We can teach English. We can teach our students English through script writing. We can teach our students English through acting, rehearsal, performance. Acting, rehearsal, performance. These three things are related to drama. Okay, drama means acting. Acting means you have to do rehearsal. Acting means you have to perform. So these three things are very closely related to drama. So through acting, through rehearsal, and through performance, through these three stages, we can teach our students English. We can develop our students' English skills. And we can also teach our students English language through role play and drama games. Come to the next slide. What do we understand by drama? So first you have to understand what a drama is and how a drama is different from other fictional pictures. Okay, a drama gives us a story, a novel also gives us a story, a short story also gives us a story. But there are differences between a drama and a novel or a short story. How can we understand that this is a drama and that is a novel? We have to first distinguish between the drama and the novel. Then we will be able to understand how we have to use a novel and how we have to use a drama in a language class. What is a drama? A drama gives us a story, a novel also gives us a story. Who tells us the story in a novel? And who tells us the story in a drama? In a novel or in a short story, the story is narrated by one person or by two persons. Okay, there is a narrator. That narrator is narrating the story of a novel or a short story. Usually it is the author who is narrating the story of a novel or of a short story. It may be that there is a character in the novel who is narrating the story. That is how we get the story of a novel. But a drama is different from a novel in that in a drama, the story is not narrated by the author, not narrated by only one particular character. Rather, we get the story of the drama from the dialogues spoken by different characters on the stage. Different characters are coming on the stage, they are speaking, and from what they are saying, we get the story of the drama. Look at the difference between how we get a story from a novel and how we get a story from a drama. In a novel, the story is told by a narrator. Usually, it is the author who is the narrator of the story of a novel. Or there may be a character, only one character in it, or there may be two characters in a novel who are telling us the story. So total story we are getting in a novel from one narrator or from more than one narrator. From their points of view, we are getting the story. But in a drama, the story is presented before the audience, not by the author, but by different persons. They are the characters in the drama. They are the characters of the drama. They are coming on the stage, they are talking. It is through their conversation we get the story of the drama. This is where a drama is different from other fictional narrative pieces. And a drama is actually intended for enactment. Okay, it's a kind of fictional narrative designed for enactment, designed for performance, designed for acting. Okay, it is not designed to be read at home in uh, silence. Rather, it is a writing that is designed for enactment, that is designed for acting, performing on the stage. That is a drama. But in ELT pedagogy, by drama, we will not understand that kind of drama, that fictional, that means literary fictional pieces. Okay, we here understand drama techniques. In ELT pedagogy, by drama will not mean actually those dramas that we are talking about. In ELT pedagogy, when we talk of drama, we have to understand that we are talking of drama techniques. Drama techniques. We are talking about acting, we are talking about performance, we are talking about rehearsal. Okay, these are the drama techniques. These three techniques will be used as a teaching technique to teach people English language. We're not exactly truly meaning the literary dramas, okay, the book drama. Rather, we are actually talking about the drama techniques like acting, rehearsal, and performance. Through acting, performance, and rehearsal, we can learn English and we can teach our students English language. They can very naturally, intuitively, interactively learn their language through performance, through acting, and through rehearsal. That is actually what we are talking about here in this class. That means we will use these three actions as a teaching technique. However, we can also use drama. That means the book drama, okay, like Macbeth, Hamlet, or any drama that you have read or that you have heard of. We can also use that kind of drama in a language class. Basically, we will use the drama techniques in the language class to boost up the linguistic level of our students, to teach our students English language, to develop their writing skills and speaking skills mainly. One famous man, his name is Charles Wissels. He has a very good book on how to use drama in the language class. You can buy the book. The name of the book is Drama. At the end of the class, I will show you the picture of the book, written by Charlene Hugels. Okay, he has shown how to use drama in an English language class to teach students English language, especially in an EFL class or in an ESL class. That means the students of both, that means foreign language learners and second language learners, both can be taught English language through drama. Wiesel has said, drama is something very natural to us that we all engage in daily when faced with difficult situations. A very good definition he has given, a good definition of drama. What a drama is. He's saying drama is something very natural to us. Drama is something very natural to us that we all engage in daily when faced with difficult situations. Try to understand what you mean actually by this definition. Okay, drama is something very natural to us that we all engage in daily when faced with difficult situations. Really, every day we are doing drama. You are doing drama. I am doing drama. Okay, often, more than often, we are doing drama. That is why drama is very natural to us. You are doing drama with your wife. You are doing drama with your parents. You are doing drama with your teachers. You are doing drama with your customers. You are doing drama with your students. I'm also doing a kind of drama with you now. Okay, I'm also doing a kind of drama with you. We are also doing a kind of drama with me on this time. If you have not submitted your assignment on the due date, you have come 2 days later than the due date. I'm saying why, I'm asking you why you have not submitted your assignment on the appointed date. You are now cooking up a reason. You are now uh, fabricating a story to tell me, to justify you that you could not submit your assignment on that day. There is also kind of trouble. You are not actually prepared to have this question from me, but when I'm asking you why you did not submit your assignment on that day, you are now cooking up a story. You are now fabricating a story. You are imagining a reason, and that you are placing before me to justify why you did not submit. That means you are telling me a story. That is actually a drama. Okay, if I ask you why you are late to my class today, you are not actually prepared to have this question. You went out to take tea, and taking tea, perhaps you had a friend and you were talking to him. When you have come to my class, every day you see that many students are entering into the class late. The teacher does not say anything. But today, suddenly, you are caught by the teacher, and the teacher is asking you why you are late to my class today. So you are now cooking up a story. You are now concocting a story and imagining a reason. You are fabricating something to convince the teacher that this is why you were late to the class. That is also a kind of drama. Okay. Now you will ask me a question. I was not actually prepared to have that kind of question. That question may make me talk something on which I did not actually have any preparation. So when faced with difficult situations, every day we are doing drama. When you are dealing with your students, with your customers, with the people standing before you when you are talking, you are doing that. So drama is something very natural to us that we all engage in daily when faced with difficult situations, when faced with an unknown situations. Okay, we are doing drama. And look, when you are facing an unknown situation, a difficult situation, you didn't have an imagination that you could face that challenge. So you are talking there, you have to make up the situation, you have to talk in that situation, you are talking. So when you are talking, the talk is coming from inside, it's spontaneously you are talking. Okay. But what we do when we are speaking, look, when we are speaking in the classroom, when I'm teaching my students English in the classroom, actually I'm telling them what I actually prepared. Okay, I am telling you what actually I prepared. I had a preparation, or I have a preparation that today I will tell all these things. All these things. So it's now very easy for me to tell you all these things because I have already taken preparation on these things. But if you ask me a question, that is something on which I did not have any preparation. So that is making me speak, okay, of something that is very difficult. And in that situation, I'm speaking. I mean, when I can speak in that situation spontaneously, you have to understand that I have learned language. And I am now speaking very naturally, usually, normally, spontaneously. That is what is we have to develop in our students. We are always translating. We, the speakers of third world countries, okay, we who are learning English as a foreign language are always translating. Hey, I translate. I'm also translating. Although I'm speaking very fast, I'm also translating in my memory, in my head. Okay, from Bangla to English, I'm converting. I'm moving from Bangla to English when I'm speaking. I have many grammatical rules. These rules are surrounding me. I'm guided by these grammatical rules. When I'm talking to you, I'm conscious of the grammatical rules. I'm thinking of whether I'm making any mistakes or not. Okay, so this is what I'm doing when I'm talking to you. But when you will be put in a drama, you will be thrown in a drama, you will see that you don't have any preparation on that, but you have to talk in that situation. Drama places people, drama places people in an unknown situation, in a kind of situation when the person has to speak from his inner side. He will have to speak spontaneously without any preparation. And that is why drama helps us to learn a language very well, because it places us, it throws us into an unknown situation, in a very difficult situation, in an unpredictable situation, where I do not have any preparation, but I have to talk. And when you are talking in that way, okay, you will see that you are learning the language. That is what you have to do. When you are talking to your student, you have preparation. When I'm talking to you, I have preparation. But when I will be put in an unknown situation, I don't have any preparation. But when I will be able to talk there, that situation will make a proper utilization of different uh, language learning capacities that I have inside. I cannot make a proper utilization of all these faculties or abilities that I have inside me, because always I'm taking preparation before I go somewhere, before I make a speech, before I deliver a speech. I always take preparation. That is why only few abilities are used, but all of the abilities are not used. But when you have to quarrel with somebody, okay, you have gone somewhere, and after going there, you are facing a terrible challenge. You are facing a kind of situation for which you are not prepared. And now you have to quarrel with many people there. So now many things that you have not said many years in your life, today you are saying. And you will see that you have not talked in this way many years in your life, for many years in your life. For the first time today, all these languages you are speaking. So when you are speaking all these languages, you are using many of the abilities that you have not used for many days. This is how drama helps us to be spontaneous. Okay, drama helps us to be spontaneous. And in an interactive way, we are talking. Drama places us in this kind of situation. Now come to the next slide. What drama techniques, look, this technique, drama techniques give students an opportunity to learn interactively in context. That is what I'm talking about. The drama techniques help the students or give students an opportunity to learn interactively in context. In a particular context, you are learning through interaction. Okay, you have gone somewhere and there you have faced a challenge. You are not prepared for that kind of untoward, unexpected situation. Now you are talking to many people. So in this context, you have to interact with many people. So through interactions, okay, with all these people in this unknown situation, you are having an opportunity to learn. And it also gives you an opportunity to use your creativity and imagination. Drama techniques give you an opportunity to use your creativity and imagination. You have to be creative. Quarreling is not a cup of tea. It's very difficult. You have to be creative there. You have to um, make many sentences. You have to say many things that you have never said in your life. So you have to be creative at the same time. You have to be imagination. However, it is not that always you are quarreling with people in many places. Suppose you have gone home in this corona pandemic period, you have gone home and there the young boys of your village are uh, uh, going to start a kind of game there. Okay, you have been invited there to inaugurate the game, and there you have to make a speech. That's a kind of drama. You're not prepared to make such a speech in this inaugural session, but young boys of your village have caught it, and they are now inviting you. In fact, they have taken you to the field, and now they're asking you to inaugurate the session, inaugurate the camp. So you have to say something. That is drama. Unprepared, you have to say something. That is drama. Okay. In many situations, you have to face this kind of untoward situations, unknown situations. Such kind of challenge will help you to be creative and to be imaginative. When you are becoming a person who is creative can learn language better. A person who is imaginative can learn a language better. You are becoming creative, you are becoming imaginative, and you are talking there. You are talking very spontaneously. And when you are talking, if you notice, you will feel that you are talking about some things that you did not think you would be able to talk on. It happens when the sentences have come out. If you have a chance to see back what you said, you will get astonished that it is you who said these sentences in that particular context. Okay. You don't know how beautiful you can speak. You don't know with, with how good arguments you can speak. Why you don't know? You don't know because you have not gotten a chance to see you. When you will have a chance to see you, you will see that you also can like another one. So when you are having this kind of opportunity, that opportunity is creating a dramatic situation before you. I'm talking of these kinds of drama that will help you to make a utilization of all these unused abilities that you have inside you. The students have to come to the next slide. Look, not next slide, next line. The students have to react spontaneously without any preparation, which is very important for fluency in language. Okay, the students have to react. When the students are put in this kind of drama, thrown in this kind of problem, when the students are made to face this kind of challenge, suppose when you are conducting a class, you have asked a boy from the back bench and you are asking him to say something or do something there in English. The boy was not actually prepared to face the challenge. Suddenly, you have asked him, he has come before all of his friends, and now he have to play such a role. And look, he didn't have any preparation. When he is playing that role, he is becoming creative, he is becoming imaginative, and very spontaneously. Okay, it is from inside that his sentences are coming out. And this is how you can increase somebody's fluency. You can develop somebody's fluency in language. Okay, when somebody can speak without preparation, that moment, that drama helps you to use his imagination. Then, look, Jim Scribner mentioned 6 most commonly used dramatic activities in English languages. Okay, Jim Scribner, he's an ELT expert. He has said that 6 most commonly used drama activities, okay, you can use in your English language class to help your students learn English language. Role play, one of them is role play that many of you do in the class. Students act small scenes using their ideas or from ideas and information on role cards. Okay, you have many role cards, put in a box or put in a class. You are asking your students, the students are coming, picking up one role card, and he sees in which role he will have to play. Okay, which role he will have to appear, and then he is talking on that. In this way, this is also creating a kind of dramatic situation in which a person has to speak without preparation. He didn't know that he will have to play in this role or he will have to play this role. Hmm. So students act small scenes using their ideas or from ideas or information on the role cards. So this is how you can create dramatic situations and you can engage your students. This is a good way of engaging your students in learning activity. If you tell them, they will forget. If you show them, they will remember. And if you engage them, they will understand. There is a Chinese proverb. Okay, the meaning of the Chinese proverb is that if you tell me, I will forget. If you show me, I may remember. And if you involve me, I will understand. If you tell me, I may forget. And really, your students are forgetting. And it's not that everything you are telling is in the memory of your students. Not less, more than 20% of what you say in the classroom is absorbed in the memory of your students. You see your students are learning, okay, hearing you with rapt attention. Nevertheless, you will see that they can catch or keep or preserve only 20% of what you have said in the classroom. Okay, because all the words that you have said cannot be caught by the antenna that the students have in their memory. So only 20% can be preserved in their memory. If you show them something, they will not forget. They will remember. So pictures speak better than words. So if you show them something, they will remember. But if you involve them, If you involve them, if you engage them, they will understand. They are creating their own knowledge. And time and again, I'm telling you that let your students learn their lesson. Okay, let your students uh, create their knowledge. You do not need to give them knowledge. Let them create their own knowledge. Let them discover their knowledge. When they are discovering, when they are creating something, they will never forget what they created. But if you are creating on their part, they will forget. They will not follow. Many of the techniques that you are using when you are creating a knowledge, your students will forget. But when your students are creating, they will never forget. So involve your students. Drama technique, role play, is a good way of engaging students in learning activity. They are talking before so many people. When they are talking, they are becoming imaginative, they are becoming creative, they are learning. Simulation, a large scale role play. The intention is to create a mass more complex or complete world, say, of a business company. Okay. Simulation is a large scale role play. Large scale role play, what is a large scale role play? You have asked somebody and now you are giving him a role on which he will have to speak for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, or you're fixing a kind of time limit, he will have to talk for. So look, he didn't have any preparation that he would have to talk on this. Okay, so it's a large scale role play. Sometimes a person is speaking on the stage, there are nobody. Okay, sometimes you see that in a cultural program in your school, you do that. Many students are coming on the stage and they are playing a role. Somebody is playing the role of a hawker, somebody is playing the role of a bus driver, somebody is playing the role of a beggar, somebody is playing the role of a hero. This is how they are doing a drama. Drama games, short games that usually involve moment and imagination. Short games that usually involve movement and imagination. This is another drama games. Short games that usually involve movement and imagination. I did it many a time when I was teaching the students of, once I went to Buet to teach their students English language. There, I did it. And their students could perform very well. Okay, just I was creating a situation to uh, boys or one boy or a one boy or a one boy and one girl were called. They are coming. Just I'm giving them a topic. They are starting the discussion. Then I'm sending another boy there. When they are gossiping with one another, another boy has come there, has joined them, and he's asking what they are talking about. And now he's also talking with. I'm sending another boy. So now four boys are there, four persons are there. He is also going there and joining their conversation. I'm sending another one there, and he's also joining, and they're talking. I'm sending one after another. 10 boys and girls are there. They're talking. It's a very spontaneous conversation. 10 students are participating. In fact, they are talking. They're gossiping with one another. They are just gossiping with. Sometimes I see that they are arguing. Sometimes they are talking very loudly because some of the students are not agreeing with what others are saying. So this is how they are getting involved in a discussion with one another. You can also do that. Just you will tell two boys or two girls or one boy and and one girl to uh, talk on a particular issue. You will just give them one kind of issue on which they will talk, and then you are sending one. Then after 1 minute, you are sending another one. He's joining another one. You are sending after 2 minutes. He's joining another one. You are sending after 1 minute. He's joining, and you will see that 10, 12 students are standing together, sitting together, gossiping with one another. One particular issue. Everybody is speaking there. So that is a kind of drama that you can arrange for the students. And look here, nobody had any preparation that they would have to talk on this issue. But everybody is taking. What we do when we don't have a class, the teacher will not give us now the class. So we have a free time. So we are sitting under a tree. We are talking about many different things. So if we, that is a kind of drama because nobody had a kind of preparation to talk on that issue in that way. So create such kind of opportunity for the students who will sit under a tree Actually, in the classroom, there will be no tree. Just they will imagine they are just standing in some place or sitting in some place. So you can also arrange, okay, just on the front bench. You can make them sit face to face, and just when students don't have class, they are sitting on the high benches face to face, talking loudly, discussing something, getting involved in the discussion, getting their heart involved in the discussion. In that way, you have to let the students get involved in a particular situation in which all of them will speak. That is how you can develop their speaking capacity. Guided improvisation. You improvise a scene and the student join in and by one in character and then the whole. So that is very much like what I have already said. Acting play scripts, short written sketches or scenes are acted by the students. Okay, just there is a script. You are giving the script to the students. The students are taking preparation on the scripts. Now they are coming on the stage and they are acting. I also do this every year. I do every semester. I do that with the students of fourth semester. I conducted. I teach them a course, Elizabethan and Jacobean drama. There are 5 dramas there. I teach them 5 dramas. Then one drama is chosen by the students for performance. The students are becoming divided into many groups. Okay, I give a group 2 scenes. I give another group 2 scenes. I give another group 3 scenes. I give another group of students 4 scenes, and I tell them to rewrite the dialogues because you know an Elizabethan drama is written in the Middle English language. Most of the words, many of the words are now not used in modern English. So it's very difficult for the students to speak that language. So I tell them to rewrite the dialogues in modern English. And now they are memorizing the dialogues or just they are getting familiar with the situations, they're coming on the stage and now they are talking. It happens that a student after coming on the stage has forgotten his dialogue. Okay, now what is he doing? He is improvising a dialogue. He knows the situation and he is now uh, making a sentence that is fit in that situation. It's not actually speaking out here what he memorized because he has already forgotten. But to make up the situation, he is improvising a dialogue. He's saying something that is relevant in this context. And when he's saying something what is relevant in this context, he is speaking from his inside. Spontaneously, these things are coming out. So you can do that. You'll see that your students are doing that. The students of class 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, you will find many stories in your textbook. Just you are dividing your students into 3, 4, 5 groups, and you will ask each group to enact the story, and you will see that they are doing that. You just give them 10 minutes time, read the story, and take preparation in the way Hanif Shanket does in Italy. Okay, he's just asking, inviting 4 or 5 people, then he's giving them one script. They're given 5 minutes time. They're reading the scripts. Now the scripts are taken away, and they are now asked to play the role. You will also do. You will see that your students are meritorious. They can do, and they will now speak in their own language. They are they now only remember the situation. They have forgotten the language. Now they will enact the situation in their own language. That is how you can give them an opportunity of speaking. And when they will speak, their speaking skills will be developed. Until somebody speaks, until somebody is given an opportunity of speaking, his or her speaking skills cannot be developed. So let them speak. And this is a good way of making people speak. Okay. Prepared improvised drama. Students in small groups invite and rehearse a short scene or a story that they perform for the others. You can also do that. You are not actually giving them any script. Just ask, just tell them what is the issue you are going to enact. Now the students will improvise their own drama. You will give them only 5 minutes time, 10 minutes time. They will think of a scene that will be relevant to this context, that will be relevant to this broad issue. And you will see that they're coming on the stage and they're acting. You are just saying that our drama will be on eradication of illiteracy. This is our theme. So you will chalk out a scene. You will prepare a scene, and you 5 friends will have to come on the stage. and you will have to do a drama that will present before us the theme eradication of illiteracy or eradication of poverty or dowry system. Now, just tell your students to prepare a scene on the bad effects of dowry tradition that we have in our culture. So you will see that your students are preparing a drama and they're coming on this stage and somebody has become the father of a son, somebody has become the mother of a daughter, somebody has become the sister of a daughter. And this is how they are coming on the stage and they are enacting the scene. They are talking in their own language. This is how they are learning. So if you can engage your students in this way, if you can give them opportunity to speak, you'll see that they are developing their speaking skills. It happens in our classes in Bangladesh, especially in primary and secondary, even in higher secondary level. The students don't have much opportunity of speaking. And even we don't have the system of um, examining students um, speaking skills. Okay, in our examinations, the questions that are said measure the performance of students' writing skill, measure the performance of students' writing. But we don't have any question that is measuring the performance of students speaking. And that's why speaking is neglected very much in primary, secondary, and even in secondary level. But if we can develop our students speaking level, look, before writing, you have to speak. Okay, nobody knows you whether you know English or not by asking you to write something. If you first you have to speak. So speaking skill is more important than writing skill. Because when we are going somewhere, we are not writing always, we are speaking. You have gone abroad, there you are not writing. You will go to a restaurant to eat something, you cannot speak, you can write. So you are getting a page and you're writing on the page what actually you want to eat there. That is not what we do. We have to speak. So wherever you go, first you have to speak. So you have to learn oral communication. So developing speaking skill is more important than developing writing skills. But this skill is very much neglected in the primary, secondary, and even in the higher secondary level. But we can help our students develop their speaking skill by giving them chances, by giving them platform, by giving them opportunity to speak. You have to get them involved in speaking in a context in which they will be needed to speak. Okay, that is what you have to do. So this is one thing. Okay, this is how we can develop our students' speaking quality, speaking skill. Do it and do it with emphasis significantly because we need to speak. Many of us are becoming unsuccessful in many of our enterprises only because of the lack of our speaking skill. We cannot be successful in many places because we cannot speak. We cannot communicate with people in English. Only I'm an educated man, I'm an AMA, but the problem is that I cannot speak in English, and that's why I have failed to sell my products to those foreign buyers. I cannot convince them to uh, believe that my products are better than the products of that industry or that factory. If I could speak well, if I could communicate with them orally, it's not that I'm always writing emails to them. Buyers from other countries have come to my country to see my products, to like my products, but the person who is here to uh, talk to them is not expert in oral language. That means he cannot speak well. That's why the buyers are not buying your products. They are going to another place. So if you could speak, it is not that the buyers will tell you to write down the qualities of your products. So writing is coming next. What is coming first is speaking. We have to learn how to speak. We have to give mass emphasis on development of speaking skills. So we have to get our students involved in situations when they will be needed to speak. And when they will open their mouth, when they will speak, they will learn speaking. That's why I tell you, like, speak as much possible. Okay, speak as much as possible before your students, and let them speak as much as possible for you. You can do one thing. If you devote yourself to teaching your students English language, okay, if you have a dream that you will teach your students English language, what you have to do, I think a person needs only 1 month to learn English, and you will see that the person is speaking as spontaneously as you can. Okay, your students of any class, even the students of class 1 can be taught English, and you will see that your students of class 1 are speaking fluently, as fluently as you are speaking. If you do that, okay. Simply getting them involved in English learning activity only an hour a day, it will be very difficult for you to make them speak. Okay, what do we do? We do that. Okay, they have a class one day, 45 minutes class, and a 45-minute class time, 10 minutes are spent in other purposes. I'm calling over their names. The class size is big, consisting of 100 students. So okay, in the beginning, that means in the introductory pre-reading session, I have to give a lot of time. So I have very little time to engage my students in the learning activity. So only getting them engaged in learning activity only for 20, 30 minutes a day, it is not possible for your students to learn English. It is not possible for you to teach them English. What you have to do is to get them involved in learning activity uh, for a longer period of time. How can it be possible? Is it possible for us to engage our students involved in learning activity for a longer period of time? Can you engage your students for 10 hours a day? If you can, then you will see that when they are in a situation when they have to speak 10 hours consistently without any break, you will see that they are learning English. You can do that. You can do that. When you can do that? After the end of the academic year. Okay. I'm saying that you have to give extra time. You have to, I have done that and I have got the result. I have done that and I have got the result. If you want to do that, then you have to give an extra time to them. Suppose it is a part of your research, you want to see whether students of class 1 can learn English in 1 month, whether students of class 2 can learn English in 2 months, within 2 months. You want to test, you want to see practically. So what you have to do? After the end of the academic year, manage some students. Okay, you can contact with the guardians or you can contact with the students. For 1 month, you have to come to school from the morning till 12 or 13, 14, 100 hour. Okay, they will be with you, they will play with you, they will gossip with you, they will eat with you, they will do everything with you. And students will play, quarrel, uh, they will jump, they will sleep, they will do everything, okay, uh, in the classroom or in the field, in the whole compound of the school. Whatever they will do in English. So if you can do that only for 1 month, you will say that your students of class 1 are communicating in English. You have to create a situation in which your students will get a lot of time to be engaged in the learning activity. By giving your student only um, a 40-minute class a day, and look, only 40 minutes, and the other time he is in Bangla mood. It's very difficult for them to. Why do the students of English medium school learn English better than the students of Bangla medium? Because in English medium school, they are always in that environment. They have to be in that environment in which they have to speak English. They cannot speak Bangla. We cannot do that, but we can try. We can see whether students can learn English in 1 month or not by arranging such a session. Okay, you can arrange the session. Just you will take as a sample 10 students of class 2 or class 1 or class 4, 5, 6, 7. You will be with them for 8, 9, 10 hours every day in the school compound. They will do everything. They will play. They will play even cards. They will act. They will quarrel. Okay, they will recite, they will sing, even they can watch movie before you, but whatever they do, they will be doing in English, and they will be under your supervision. Well, and most of them will actually learn from you. Okay, the students of class want to learn from the teacher, so you speak as much as possible for you before them, and you will see that your students are copying the sentences you are using. Your students are copying the structures that you are making. I have already said in many classes that human beings are very much like talking toms. They have a kind of brain in their head as a talking tom has a device. They just absorb the words, phrases, language, even sentence structures. A teacher's vocabulary, a teacher's way of speaking, a teacher's structure greatly influence uh, his students or her students. That is why we need to have good teachers in primary level, because people learn language in the primary level. A good madam can develop a good foundation of language of a student. Her words, her phrases, her sentences, her sentence patterns will be imitated by the student or by the students. If you want to get your student speak Bangla well, then the Bangla teacher has to be a good teacher. You'll see your baby is imitating that teacher. So that is how we have to teach our students English language. You have to arrange big sessions. If you have a dream that you will teach your students English language, you can try that. And you will see, if you are not trying in that way, you can try at your own home. From today, stop speaking in Bangla with your baby, with your son. Your son will be your sample. Your son will be your sample. You have two kids, they are students of primary school. From today, let their mother speak in Bangla or let their father speak in Bangla, you will speak in English. Not a single word you will speak in Bangla for 30 days. You will see that your baby is learning. And the 30 days will be very in a little time. You can try it for 90 days, 3 months, because they need to absorb the vocabulary. They need to absorb the sentence structure. So 30 days will be a very little time. Stop speaking with your babies in Bangla for 90 days. You will see that your babies are speaking in English. Let them play at home in English. Okay, let them, whatever they do at home in English, then they are learning English. You can just take your one baby as sample and you can try. So get them involved in dramatic situations. It happens in my home. Okay, my kid is always doing that. And I have seen it can be possible. How will you develop the writing skill of your students? Okay, you can tell them stories, and you can tell your students to tell you stories. How to tell a story? Okay, how to tell a story? So you have to imagine a story. You have to make a story. You have to create a story. How can you create a story? If you decide that you will tell your students every day a short story, okay, uh, for 2 months. So you have to know at least 40 stories. Where will you get 40 stories? You do not need to have 40 stories. You will imagine stories and you will tell them stories. Or your students will also imagine stories and will tell you stories. So how to make a story? That is what you have to learn. It happens. Suppose sometimes you are facing the challenge. Okay, your son is demanding that you have to tell him a story. You don't know any story. You have not read the storybook. So you are cooking up a story and you are telling them a story. You will see that your mother and your baby is crying that please tell me a story. What story will you tell them? They don't know any story. You have not read the storybook for many days. You have almost forgotten. Or you have already told him the stories that you know. Now you have to tell him a story. But how can you have a tell this? How can we have a story? Because all the stories that you read or you know, you have already told. So now you have to create a new story. You have to imagine a new story. How to imagine a story? Writing a story is not difficult. Even imagining a story is not difficult if you know the structure. Okay. If you know the structure, you will start. You don't know where the story will end, but the story will go to a smooth end. You don't know how the story is moving forward. You don't know how the story will develop. You have just started the story, like a journey. You have just started your bike, motorcycle, and you have put up your legs on the pedals, and you will see that your motorcycle will take you somewhere. In the same way, you have just started your story, don't know where the story will end and in which direction the story will move, but the story will move in a particular direction because the story cannot move in a haphazard way. The story has its own way. Okay, it has a kind of structure, and the structure is fixed. It doesn't matter whether you know the structure or not. The story will move in its own way because the structure of the story is fixed. That is what I will show you. You can write stories, you can imagine stories in this way, and you can tell your baby's stories in this way, and this is how you can develop your writing skill, your baby's writing skill, even you can develop your faculty of imagination and creativity. Vladimir Pop, he's a Russian folklorist, okay? Learn the names of these two persons. Vladimir Prof, a Russian folklorist. Claude Lévi-Strauss, a French anthropologist. A French anthropologist. Claude Lévi-Strauss is an anthropologist, a French anthropologist, and Vladimir Prof, a Russian folklorist. They discovered the structure of stories. Okay, we didn't know that stories have structures, but these two persons discovered the underlying hidden stories of stories. And when you will know the underlying hidden stories of underlying hidden structures of stories, you will see that making a story is very easy. Just you need to give time. Vladimir Pop, in his Morphology of Folktale, analyzed 100 Russian folktales and found that the folktales were based on one common structure. Interesting thing is that Vladimir Pop analyzed 100 Russian folktales. He was a Russian. He went to a particular region, and there he analyzed 100 folktales. Okay, he heard their folktales, analyzed the folktales, and found that all these folktales have only one structure. Although the folktales are telling us 100 different stories, 100 folktales have 100 different stories. Although the stories are different, the structure of the stories is the same. Okay, the stories are different, but the structure of the stories is the same. On one structure, many things have been put, and these many things have made many stories. Like this Indian serial moto. Indian serial কি ঘটে? এই সিরিয়ালের শাশুড়ি দজ্জাল আর শ্বশুরটা খুব ভালো, দেবরটা খারাপ, ননদটা খুব ভালো। এটা একটা গল্প। অন্য সিরিয়ালে কি হবে? ওই সিরিয়ালের শ্বশুরটা খুব খারাপ, শাশুড়িটা খুব ভালো, দেবরটা খুব ভালো, আর ননদটা খুব খারাপ। আরেকটা সিরিয়ালে কি হবে? যে শাশুড়িও খারাপ, শ্বশুরও খারাপ, দেবরটা ভালো, আর ননদটা ভালো, স্বামীও খারাপ। So you are getting 3 stories. This is how you can make thousands of stories. But all these stories are on the same structure. Okay, that means খারাপ মানুষ লাগবে আমাদের। একটা ভালো মানুষ লাগবে, বা এক গ্রুপ ভালো মানুষ লাগবে, আর এক গ্রুপ খারাপ মানুষ লাগবে। This is what we need in a story. This bad person may be my father-in-law, or my mother-in-law, or my sister-in-law, or my brother-in-law, or my own husband, or my own wife. So somebody has to be a bad person, and somebody has to be a good person. There will be a conflict between the bad person and the good person, and the story will go forward through these conflicts. এই কনফ্লিক্টের মধ্য দিয়ে গল্পটি সামনে এগিয়ে যাবে। এভাবে গল্পতে আমি আরো ডিটেইল, I am discussing it in detail how the underlying structure works, and things are put on the underlying hidden structure, and these outer things make different stories. Okay, Vladimir Pop আবিষ্কার করলো যে প্রত্যেকটি গল্পে 7টা চরিত্র আছে। He analyzed 100 folktales and found that in his folktale there are these 7 characters. However, there may be one character less than 7. Okay, but in a story there are not more than 7. These are the characters that are found in all stories. One hero and one false hero. One villain, one donor or provider, one helper, one princess or princess and her father, and one dispatcher. These are the common characters that were present in all the folk tales that he analyzed. কোনো গল্পের হিরোটি ভালো, কোনো গল্পের হিরোইনটি ভালো, ঠিক আছে? কোনো গল্পে হিরোইন বিপদে পড়েছে, কোনো গল্পে হিরো বিপদে পড়েছে, কোনো গল্পে এরকম করে চলবে। গল্পটা শুরু হয়েছিল কিভাবে? আমি ক্যাম্পাসে যাচ্ছি, যেতে যেতে পথের মধ্যে একটা অ্যাক্সিডেন্ট হয়ে গেল আমার। এভাবে শুরু হতে পারে। এটা একটা গল্পটা শুরু। দিস ইজ হাউ মাই স্টোরি ইজ বিগিনিং। আপনি ক্যাম্পাসে আসছিলেন, আপনার গল্পটা শুরু হচ্ছে কিভাবে? আপনার মানি ব্যাগটা চুরি হয়ে গেল। So you are in a trouble. That means you have to be in a trouble. And when you are in a trouble, the story is beginning. When you are in a trouble, the story is beginning. And the story moves through binary oppositions. Okay, binary oppositions, you may understand what a binary opposition is. Students of science understand what binary oppositions. A binary opposition is a system of two forces working simultaneously, two opposite forces. It's a system of two opposite forces, okay, which are working simultaneously. অর্থাৎ একটা নেগেটিভ একটা পজিটিভ, একটা নেগেটিভ একটা পজিটিভ। আর আপনি কেমন করে মনে করেন আপনার বাচ্চাকে বললেন যে বাবা তুমি, আমি বাইরে যাচ্ছি, তুমি দরজা খুলবে না। যেই কলিং বেল বাজাক না কেন, ইউ উইল নট ওপেন দ্য ডোর। ও যদি দরজা না খোলে তাহলে কিন্তু কোনো গল্প শুরু হবে না। আপনি বাইরে গেছেন, একজন এসে এত ঘন ঘন বেল বাজাচ্ছে, somebody is pressing the bell again and again, again and again. The boy is feeling very disturbed, and finally the boy has opened the door, and the story is beginning. A miscreant came and is abducting your baby, and the story is beginning. অর্থাৎ আপনি যেটা নিষেধ করবেন ও সেটা করবে, আর তখনই গল্পটি শুরু হয়ে যাবে। মহাভারতের রামায়ণের গল্প শুরু হতো না যদি সীতা ওই গোলবৃত্তের মধ্যে থেকে বের না হতো। She was asked by her husband not to step over the circle drawn for her. Okay, in the Ramayana, a circle was drawn and Sita was asked not to step over it. উনি যদি ভদ্র মহিলার মতন ওর মধ্যে বসে থাকতো তাহলে কিন্তু আমরা রামায়ণ গল্পটাই পেতাম না, রামায়ণ তৈরি হতো না। উনি যেই এর বাইরে বেরিয়ে আসলেন, she was abducted by Ravan, and the story is beginning. So এরকম করে একটি সমস্যা সমাধান হবে আর একটি সমস্যা শুরু হবে। One problem is solved, another problem is beginning. One problem is solved, another problem is beginning. This is how a story moves forward. আর গল্পের মধ্যে এই ভদ্রলোক আবিষ্কার করলে আমরা এটার মধ্যে একটু আসে যে he discovered that every folktale has these 7 characters. There may be one character less, but more or less the 7 characters were present, give or take one, in all the folktales that he analyzed. শুধু হলো কি, in one folktale এরকম, there was a king, the king had 7 wives. The eldest wife was the most beautiful of all the wives, or the youngest wife was the most beautiful of all the wives. She loved the king very much. এভাবে একটা শুরু হলো। আরেকটা গল্প শুরু হতে পারে, এক দেশে এক রাজা ছিল, রাজার 7টি ভাই ছিল। The youngest brother was very faithful and the other brothers were not faithful. এক দেশে এক রাজা ছিল, রাজার 7টি ছেলে ছিল, এর মধ্যে মেজো ছেলেটা ছিল সবচেয়ে ভদ্র, আর অন্য ছেলেগুলো রাজাকে ভালোবাসত। এই গল্পতে 3টা গল্প শুরু হয়ে গেল, but its structure is the same. This is how a story is functioning. I'll come to, আর এই ভদ্রলোক বলেছিলেন যে একটি গল্পে 31 ধরনের ঘটনা ঘটে, not more than 31 functions he found. হ্যাঁ, এই মনে করেন আমার মানিব্যাগ চুরি হলো, এটা একটা ঘটনা। আর একজনের মানিব্যাগ চুরি না হয়ে তার নিজেই চুরি হয়ে গেল, ঠিক আছে? মানিব্যাগ চুরি হয়নি, ভদ্রলোক নিজেই চুরি হয়ে গেল, যে গল্পটা শুরু হলো। The family members are looking for the man who is stolen. So this is how 31 actions were found, more or less, give or take 1-2, in all the folk tales that he analyzed. So it's a common structure he discovered in the stories. আপনাকে আরেকটু সহজ করে আমি বোঝাচ্ছি কেমন করে একটি গল্প। দেখেন, আপনারা জানেন ইংরেজির আমরা যে হাজার হাজার সেন্টেন্স লিখি ইংরেজিতে, এই হাজার হাজার সেন্টেন্সের স্ট্রাকচার হচ্ছে একটি। There is only one structure of the 1,000 sentences that we are writing. Big sentences, small sentences we are writing, but all these big, small sentences that we write and speak every day have one structure. That is a noun phrase and a verb phrase. The sentence is a long sentence consisting of 100 words. Still, it has two elements. One is noun phrase and the other is verb phrase. The sentence is a small story. It has two elements, a noun phrase and verb phrase. But এই স্ট্রাকচারের উপরে কিন্তু আমরা হাজার হাজার সেন্টেন্স লিখতেছি. We are making millions of sentences, but on one structure. What is the structure? Noun phrase and verb phrase. And when we are making millions of sentences have millions of meanings, but all the sentences are written on one structure. Look at this small sentence. He lives in a hut. He lives in a hut. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can you understand me?
Yes, sir.
So look, he lives in a hut. মনে করেন এইটা একটা গল্প. He lives in a hut. এটা একটা সেন্টেন্স. আমি কিছু পরিবর্তন করব না. He lives in a hut. You know the meaning of hut? Hut মানে কুড়ে ঘর. He lives in a hut. কুড়ে ঘরে যে বসবাস করে লোকটা খুব দরিদ্র. You can understand. The man is very poor. আমি অন্যগুলা এরকম করে লিখতাম. Just come to understand this sentence. He lives in a hut. So this is one sentence. Now if I write, he lives in a home. He lives in a home. So this sentence has a different meaning, but look, it has the same structure. Only the hut is replaced by home. The hut is replaced by home, and the sentence is giving me a different meaning, and it is becoming a different sentence. He lives in a hut and he lives in a home. Both the sentences do not have the same meaning. The two sentences have two different meanings. The first sentence is telling me that that person is very poor, and that is why he lives in a hut. And the second sentence is telling that man is not that much poor. He lives in a home. If I say he lives in a flat, he lives in a flat, then what does it mean? That man is richer than this man and that man, and this sentence is a different meaning. When I say that he lives in a flat, it is giving me a different meaning. It is becoming a different sentence, but it is also set on the same structure, noun phrase and verb phrase. Only the heart is replaced by flat. He lives in a shell. Shell means a kind of hole. Okay, so if গাছের নিচে যেমন একটা গুহা থাকে সেরকম জায়গায় সে বসবাস করে. What does it mean? It means that the person is very, very poor, does not have even a hut or a home. He lives in a shell. He lives in a shade. And look, shade. The man is very poor as this man was. He lives in a hut, and this man is living in a shade. He is not living in a flat. So this sentence has a different meaning, but this sentence is also on this structure. The man lives in a hovel. This sentence has a different meaning. The man lives in a mansion. Mansion. অমুক ম্যানশন দেখবেন আগেকার বাড়ি এই যে 70-80 দশকে যে সকল বাড়িগুলো নির্মিত হয়েছিল, aristocratic families built their homes, and those names are carrying this buildings are carrying these names. Amok mansion. So mansion means an apartment, an aristocratic place. When you find somebody is living in a mansion, it means the person is a rich person. They live is an aristocratic man having a big building. That building has a name. Okay, so this sentence is giving us a different meaning. So it is a different story. Suppose it is a different story. He lives in a palace. Palace means Rajprasad. So Rajprasader মানুষের গল্প অন্যরকম. So look here, we are getting 1 story, 2 story, 3 story, 4 story, 5 story, 6 story, 7 story, 8 stories. We are getting 8 stories, but the stories have the same structure. We are getting 7 sentences, but all these sentences have 7 structure. If you understand the structure of the sentences, you can understand the structure of the stories. আমি যদি গল্পটা শুরু করি, এক দেশে এক রাজা ছিল, রাজাটি রাজপ্রাসাদে বসবাস করত। এই গল্পটা একরকম হবে, এক দেশে এক রাজা ছিল, রাজা কুড়ে ঘরে বসবাস করত। ঠিক আছে, আমি একটা বুড়ির গল্প বলছি, বুড়ি থাকতো রাজপ্রাসাদে, তার মানে এর গল্প একরকম হবে। আর বুড়ি যদি থাকে হাটে, তার গল্প একরকম হবে। বুড়ি যদি ম্যানশনে থাকে, তার গল্প একরকম হবে। So we are getting 8 different stories, but all these stories have the same plot. All these stories have the same plot. Now come to, I'm telling you another interesting story that will help you to understand how different stories have one structure. একটি গল্পের অনেক গল্পের একটি স্ট্রাকচার থাকে। আপনারা ইলিয়াডের নাম শুনে থাকতে পারেন। You might have heard the name of Iliad. You might have heard the name of the Iliad written by Homer. Okay, Homer and Iliad নাম শুনবেন। It's an epic. সিনেমাও দেখে নিতে পারেন, ইলিয়াডের উপর সিনেমা আছে। What does happen in the Iliad? Helen is abducted by Paris. Helen is abducted by Paris. অথবা আপনার ট্রয় সিনেমা দেখে নেবেন। What happens there? Helen is abducted by Paris. It's a Greek story, Greek mythological story. Okay, Helen is the most beautiful woman in the world. She is still believed to be the most beautiful woman in the world. No other woman is or was or perhaps will be as beautiful as Helen was. That Helen was abducted by Paris, the prince of Troy. Helen ছিল Sparta Rani. Helen was the queen of Sparta. Her husband was Menelaus. And Helen was abducted by Paris, who was the prince of Troy. হেলেনকে যখন চুরি করে নিয়ে আসা হলো, তাহলে হেলেনকে কে কে আসলো? Menelaus, husband of Helen, and Agamemnon. Agamemnon is a brother of Menelaus. Two brothers burned and destroyed Troy and rescued Helen. Okay, the two brothers. তাদের সাথে হাজার হাজার মানুষ ছিল, but these two brothers were the top dogs. That means leaders. They led the battle. So led by Menelaus and Agamemnon. Okay, the forces of Sparta and other countries came, burned and destroyed Troy and rescued Helen. This is the story of Iliad. This is the story of Iliad. Look what is happening here. In the Ramayana, that is our epic, Indian epic, Sita was abducted by Ravana. Look, Helen was abducted by Paris. Here Sita was abducted by Ravan. Helen has been replaced by Sita and Paris has been replaced by Ravana. What has happened here? Helen is replaced by Sita and Paris has been replaced by Ravan. It is becoming a different story. But same thing is happening. Here Helen was abducted by Paris. Here Sita is abducted by Ravan. Here Menelaus and Agamemnon, two brothers, burned, destroyed Troy and rescued Helen. Here Ram and Lakshman, two brothers, burned and destroyed Lanka and rescued Sita. The same story we are getting here. These are not actually two different stories. These two stories are actually the same story. But how have we made the stories different? Only by replacing the names of the characters, names of places. These are called signs. Signs are changed, new story is coming. Signs are changed, again you are making new stories. Helen is a sign, Paris is a sign. These two signs have been changed here, replaced here by new signs, Sita and Ravan. Here Menelaus and Agamemnon. These are two signs. They have been replaced by Ram and Lakshman. Here Troy was a sign. Troy has been replaced by Lanka. Look, we are getting completely a new story. Actually, the story is this. You will find the same story in both the two epics. It seems that who wrote Ramayana? Ramayana কে লিখেছিল জানো? বেদব্যাস নাকি? Who is the author of Ramayana? বাল্মীকি. বাল্মীকি লিখেছিল। মনে হচ্ছে বাল্মীকি গোপনে ইলিয়াড পড়ে এই গল্পটা চুরি করে লিখে দিয়েছে। আপনি দেখবেন বাংলাদেশে বেদের মেয়ে জ্যোৎস্না আছে, ইন্ডিয়াতেও বেদের মেয়ে জ্যোৎস্না আছে। আমাদের জ্যোৎস্নার নামটি তারা আলাদা করে দিয়েছে, আর আমাদের ইলিয়াস কাঞ্চনের নামটিও আলাদা করে দিয়েছে। আর রাজাটার নাম আলাদা হয়ে গেছে, রাজ্যের নাম আলাদা হয়ে গেছে, বোনটা আলাদা করে দিয়েছে। Got a new story is there. But if you analyze the story, you will find both the stories are set on the same structure. There is not any difference between the two stories. হলিউড সিনেমা তৈরি করছে, বুঝছেন? হলিউড সিনেমা তৈরি করছে আপনার বলিউড করছে হলিউডের সিনেমা দেখে। তারা গোপনে গোপনে হলিউডের সিনেমা দেখে তারা শুধু নামগুলা চেঞ্জ করে দিচ্ছে আর জায়গা চেঞ্জ করে দিচ্ছে, দুটো একটা মারামারির প্যাটার্ন চেঞ্জ করে দিচ্ছে, প্রবলেমের প্যাটার্ন চেঞ্জ করে দিচ্ছে, and they are making new stories are being made. সেটা দেখে বাংলাদেশে আমরা কি করছি, ওখানকার মেয়েটা কলেজে যাওয়ার সময় এই ঘটনা ঘটেছিল, আমাদের মেয়েটাকে কলেজ থেকে কলেজে পাঠাচ্ছি না, বরং সে একটি অফিসে চাকরি করছিল, অফিস থেকে বাড়ি আসার সময় এই দুর্ঘটনা ঘটে গেল। The story is beginning. There, when the heroine was going to college, she was in a problem. Our heroine is coming home from office and she is in a problem. Look, we have to have a problem. We have to have a problem. We have to have some places. We have to have some names. We have to have some actions. Then stories will be made. So this is how, if we analyze all films of Bangladesh, আপনি দেখেন না বাংলাদেশে অনেকের মানুষ আছে সিনেমা দেখতে যে 10 মিনিট দেখে বেরিয়ে চলে আসবে, ও বলবে যে এ কি গল্প হবে, আমার বোঝা হয়ে গেছে, I have understood what will happen, and he will not spend time by watching the film because he has understood what will happen in the film, because really it happens. Only different things are happening, but different things have the same meaning that he is imagining. যে এটা করবে, এই লোকটা এটা করবে, এটা করবে, এটা হবে, ও আমার বোঝা হয়ে গেছে, I do not need to spend time by watching the film because I have understood. Why does he say that? Because he understands the inner structure of the film. যারা এই সিনেমার গল্প তৈরি করতেছে ওরা রাতারাতি তৈরি করে ফেলে, আপনি পারছেন না কেন? কারণ আপনি কোনদিন ট্রাই করেননি। If you are trying, you will see that you can also make such a story, because the story has its own ways, has its own structure. So you cannot make a story in a different way. You are writing a story unconsciously, but you will see that things have happened in the way they are designed, they are patterned, they are structured. আজকে মানুষ পাকা বিল্ডিং তৈরি করছে, এখন হচ্ছে সিভিল ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং তারা পড়ালেখা করতেছে। আজ থেকে 5000 বছর আগে মানুষ বিল্ডিং তৈরি করতে, তারা সিভিল ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং জানতো? They were making the buildings in the same way we are making today. Claude Lévi-Strauss, I have said, Claude Lévi-Strauss said that the structures are inherent. Okay, we do things exactly in the way they are inherently patterned. That means the pattern is inborn. We will do in the same way it is pattern. Okay, কোন দেশের মানুষকে আপনি দেখবেন না যে তারা, আপনি এতে যান আফ্রিকার বনে যান, people who are uncivilized are also eating and doing many things in the same way we are doing. আমি মনে করি যে তারা তো কেউ শেখেনি, তাদের তো কোনো বই টই পড়া নেই, বিশ্ববিদ্যালয়ে পড়েনি, সুতরাং তারা মনে হয় এই কাজটা এইভাবে করে, আমাদের মতন করে করতে পারে না। They are doing the thing exactly in the way we are doing because it is to be done in this particular way. The pattern is inherent. The pattern is inborn. You cannot do it in a different way. So you can write a story in that way. I'm going to another story. আপনাকে আরেকটা স্টোরি দেখাচ্ছি, এই স্টোরিটা যদি দেখেন তাহলে বুঝবেন কিভাবে, এবং আপনি আপনার ছাত্রদের স্টোরি পড়াতেও পারেন। ঠিক আছে, you can teach a drama in the classroom. It's a big drama. How will you teach the drama? How will you tell them the story of the drama? You can tell them the story of the drama in 5 minutes. And now you can ask your students to talk on what has happened in the story. How will you tell them the story of the drama? Hamlet is a big drama. The largest drama of Shakespeare is Hamlet. Okay, but you can tell the story of Hamlet only in 2 minutes. And now you can invite your students to talk on these things. You will see that your students are asking you many questions. They are thinking on these issues. They are now sharing with you what they have understood, what they have to say on this story. You can spark their imagination. You can get them engaged in the situations that this story is creating there by telling them this story in only 2 minutes. Hamlet, son of a king, hears of his father's death. If you have read the story of Hamlet, or you may have heard the name of this drama, I think all of you, all educated people have heard the name of this drama, Hamlet. Hamlet, son of a king, hears of his father's death. He goes home and finds his mother married his uncle. He goes home and finds his mother has married his uncle. He suspects his mother and uncle. He sees a ghost who tells him his uncle had killed his father. He sees a ghost that tells him that his uncle had killed his father. He is in hesitation. Hamlet is in hesitation. Hamlet is in hesitation whether or not to believe the ghost. Should I believe what the ghost is saying? The ghost is saying, my uncle has killed my father. Should I believe the story of the ghost or not. So Hamlet was in hesitation. He adopts a technique to know the truth and knows the truth. He adopts a technique. What is the technique? He was pretending to be a mad. That means in the palace, he will pretend to be a mad. Everybody will think that Hamlet is a mad. And before a mad, you can talk anything. And when they will talk of this thing, Hamlet will know that. So that is the technique that he adopted. He adopted the technique of madness. Okay, he was pretending to be mad to know the truth, whether his uncle really killed his father or not. He kills his uncle and knows the truth. Okay, finally he knows the truth. He kills his uncle and gets himself killed in the process. He kills his uncle because his uncle really killed his father, he understood. And when he killed his uncle, he himself was also killed in the process. So this is the story of Hamlet. Within 2 minutes, you can tell your students this story. And now you can ask your students some questions on the basis of this story. Or you can now ask them to think over what is happening in this story. And now they will say many things on this story. You can spark the imagination of your students in that way, and you can make your students get involved. You can get your students involved in speaking activity. So look, I am showing you another thing here. So this is the story. You will see, you can write a story exactly on this pattern, and that will be a different story. Okay, it was the story of Denmark, it will be a story of Bangladesh. Only you will just change the name of the names and places. Hamlet is a Danish name. You will just give a name of Bangladeshi name. You will give a Bangladeshi name. Hassan, Karim, Jamal, Jabbar, Rohim, such kind of name. And look, come to understand what I have written here. I have given a new storyline. Ophelia. That means you can write a different story. Here it is the story of Hamlet. It will be the story of a lady, Ophelia. Ophelia, daughter of a king, hears of her mother's death 2 months later. Okay, Ophelia, daughter of a king, hears of her mother's death. Here Hamlet heard the death of his father. Here Ophelia, okay, she is the daughter of a king, hears the death of her mother 2 months later. 2 months early, her mother died, and 2 months later, she is hearing the news of her mother's death. She goes home and finds her father married her mother's sister. এখানে কি হয়েছিল? Hamlet goes home and finds his mother married his uncle. এখানে কি হচ্ছে? She goes home and finds that her father married her mother's sister. খালাকে বিয়ে করেছে। এই ঘটনা অনেক জায়গায় ঘটে, অন্য অন্য কালচারেও ঘটে। She suspects her father and aunt. Ophelia perhaps thinks that my mother did not die a natural death, as my father within 2 months married my aunt, so there may be something fishy in it. She sees a dream. এখানে কি হয়েছিল? He sees a ghost. আমি এখানে দিছি she sees a dream which tells her that her father killed her to marry her aunt. In the dream, Ophelia says that her father killed her mother to marry her aunt. তার মাকে মেরে ফেলেছে তার খালার সাথে বিয়ে করার জন্য. It happens, it may happen. This is how a story may go forward. She is in hesitation whether to believe it or not. Hamlet was in hesitation whether or not to believe the ghost. She is in hesitation whether to believe it or not. স্বপ্নে দেখলাম, স্বপ্ন কি সত্য হয়? What I have seen in the dream is not true. Again, a dream is manifestation of what you think. Okay, you cannot but believe in your subconscious level that what you have seen in the dream is true. But when it is day, you cannot bring yourself to believe that what you have seen in the dream is true. However, to uncover the truth, she disguises as her aunt. Okay, she disguises as her aunt. অর্থাৎ তার খালার শাড়ি পরে সে তার বাবার রুমে গেল। এখানে কি করেছিল? He adopts a technique. What was the technique? He pretended to be a mad to know whether really his uncle killed his father. Here, Ophelia, to uncover the truth, she disguises as her aunt. That means she disguises as her mother's sister. Perhaps she's wearing her mother's her aunt's shari or her aunt's dress, okay, and goes to her father. এবং তার খালা সেজে, অর্থাৎ তার বাবার নতুন বউ সেজে সে তার বাবার কাছে গেল and knows the truth. কিভাবে নতুন করে জানলো? হয়তো ওই খালার শাড়িটা পরে সে খাটের এক কোনায় যে দাঁড়িয়ে আছে, মুখ থেকে দাঁড়িয়ে আছে। আর সত্যটা কিভাবে জানলো? হয়তো তার বাবা বলল, তুমি আমাকে দেখে লজ্জা করছো কেন, ওইরকম কোনায় যে দাঁড়িয়ে আছো কেন? কাম হিয়ার, only to get you close to me I killed my wife. Okay, I killed my wife and you are hiding your face and you are keeping away from me. So this, and because her father did not understand that this is her daughter, he thought that this is his new wife. So thinking her daughter to be his new wife is perhaps revealing that for you I killed my wife only to get married to you, to have you close to me, and you are keeping away from me, you are hiding your face. আমাদের দেশে একটি সিনেমা আছে শেষ অঙ্ক, উত্তম কুমার অভিনয় করেছে, আপনারা দেখতে, উত্তম কুমার এবং সাবিত্রী। ইউ ক্যান ওয়াচ দ্য মুভি, ইটস আ ওয়ান্ডারফুল মুভি, ইউটিউবে পাবেন, আজকে দেখে ফেলবেন। শেষ অঙ্ক সিনেমার নাম, শেষ অঙ্ক। If you see, you will see. Uttam Kumar is saying that only to get you, only to marry you, I killed my previous wife. And today you are not trying to understand me. Actually, this lover is trying to understand whether Uttam Kumar is the killer or not. And she now understands that he is a killer. So this is how she uncovers the truth. She kills her father and aunt. She is killing her father and her aunt and gets herself killed. He kills his uncle and gets himself killed in the process. The same thing is happening here. Her lover ascends to the throne. অথবা আপনি গল্পটা অন্যরকম করে ফেলতে পারেন শেষের দিকে, she kills her father and aunt, but she is not dying. Okay, she is succeeding to the throne of the country. সে রাজকুমারী হয়ে গেল, that means রানী হয়ে গেল, শাসক হয়ে গেল. She is now becoming the queen of the country, the ruler of the country. So it ended here, you are making it end thus. So look, it is becoming completely a different story. But this story is actually structured on this story. It is just put on this structure. Hamlet has been replaced by Ophelia. Father has been replaced by mother. Okay, mother has been replaced by father. Uncle has been replaced by, look, mother's sister. Okay, she adopted madness. I have adopted a disguise. He knew from a ghost and she knows from a dream. This is how the story is becoming completely a different story. But actually, this is not a different story. These two stories are the same stories. আপনি এটা বাংলাদেশের গল্প করে ফেলতে পারেন, একেবারেই বাংলাদেশের গল্প। এই গল্পটি শেক্সপিয়ার কিন্তু এভাবেই গল্প লিখেছিল। শেক্সপিয়ার যে হ্যামলেট গল্প লিখেছিল, এটা কিন্তু শেক্সপিয়ারের নিজের লেখা গল্প না। এই গল্পটি 1200 সালে স্কটল্যান্ডের একজন, স্কটল্যান্ড বলছি, ডেনমার্কের একজন স্যাক্সো গ্রামাটিকাস নামের ভদ্রলোক তিনি লিখে গিয়েছিলেন। সেখানে এই গল্পটি লেখা ছিল। শেক্সপিয়ার সেই গল্পটি কোনোভাবে পড়েছে, তারপরে তিনি জাস্ট, তার নাম ছিল হ্যামলেট, হ্যামলেট লিখেছে, শেক্সপিয়ার লিখেছে হ্যামলেট। Okay, the name of that hero was there Hamlet. Shakespeare has written Hamlet. Same thing is happening in that story. Shakespeare has just changed the hearts of the character. Actions have been changed and the story is becoming a different. আপনি এই গল্পটি, এই অপেলিয়ার গল্প, শেক্সপিয়ারের প্রেমিকার গল্প করে ফেলতে পারেন। আপনি এই গল্পটি বাংলাদেশের যে কোনো একটা মেয়ের গল্প করে ফেলতে পারেন। এই কিংটাকে চেঞ্জ করে একটা ফার্মার করে ফেলতে পারেন। ঠিক আছে, যে ফার্মার তার শালীর প্রেমে পড়ে গেল, তার স্ত্রীকে খুন করে তার শালীকে বিয়ে করে ফেলল। তার মেয়ে জগন্নাথ বিশ্ববিদ্যালয়ে পড়তো, বাড়ি যে এই ঘটনা দেখে সে হতবাক হয়ে গেল যে আমার বাবা, within 7 days my father has got married to my mother's sister. Something fishy there is in it, and she is now trying to uncover the truth. Okay, so it was the story of a king, it is becoming the story of a farmer. So এরকম করে আপনি গল্প বলতে পারেন। ঠিক আছে, আপনি জসিমউদ্দিনের দুটি বাংলা শর্ট স্টোরির গল্প সেগুলো পড়ে দেখবেন। জসিমউদ্দিন আগে এই গল্পগুলা উনি শুনেছিলেন এবং এই গল্পটাই তিনি এখানে বলতেন। ওই যে শিয়ালের পাঠশালা, এই গল্প কিন্তু শুধু বাংলাদেশেই নেই, there are many other countries in which শিয়ালের পাঠশালা। শুধু বাংলাদেশের শিয়ালের পাঠশালায় হচ্ছে জসিমউদ্দিন চেঞ্জ করেছে, এখানে আরশোলা আছে, এখানে ব্যাং আছে, এখানে ইঁদুর আছে। These are the students, and in another country Shial has a school where the Shial has Shial has a tiger as a student, Shial has an elephant as a student, Shial has a camel as a student, but in Bangladesh, the Shial has a cockroach as a student, a frog as a student. This is how Joshimuddin has made completely a different story. সেম স্টোরি যে এক শিয়াল তার দুটি বাচ্চা ছিল, দুটি বাচ্চা নিয়ে একটি গাছের নিচে বসবাস করতো, মানে দুটি বাচ্চা আর হাজবেন্ড ওয়াইফ একসাথে বসবাস করে একটি গাছের নিচে। একদিন প্রচন্ড বৃষ্টি পড়ছে, সো মাদার ফক্স is telling the father fox, that the wife is telling the husband to go to another place to find a safe place where the rainwater will not be a problem there. So they moved to another place and found a hole under a tree, and they entered into the hole. That was a safe place. The rainwater was not falling on their head. But suddenly they noticed that it is not actually a safe place. It is the home of a tiger. Tiger, lion. It's a lion at home, but a tiger at home. কোনো জায়গায় আপনি টাইগার চেঞ্জ করে দিতে পারেন, এটা টাইগারের জায়গায়। তো টাইগার কিছুক্ষণ পরেই টাইগার আসলো, সেখানে বিপদে পড়ে গেল। তো দ্য মাদার ফক্স ইজ সেইং তার বাবাকে যে আমি আমার বাচ্চাদেরকে এখন মারবো, বাচ্চারা কান্না করবে, তুমি জিজ্ঞাসা করো বাচ্চারা কাঁদছে কেন। So the mother fox is beating the baby foxes. The baby foxes are crying. The father fox is saying, why are the babies crying? The mother fox is saying, the babies are crying because they want to eat the meat of a tiger. The tiger has heard that, oh my God, who are in my home, they want to eat my meat. The tiger is running away, hearing it. And when he's running away with its tail on its back, there was a monkey sitting on a tree. The monkey is asking, hey tiger, why are you running away in that way? Why are you feeling so frightened? The tiger is saying, well, demon has come to my home and they are in my home waiting to eat my meat. The monkey is saying, how can a demon be in your home? You are the king of this forest. And so let's go with me, I want to see. So the monkey was sitting on the back of the tiger, and the tiger came. And the mother fox is again beating his babies. And when the babies are crying, the father fox is asking, why are the babies crying? The mother fox is saying, the babies have already eaten one tiger and they want to eat another tiger. I have sent their monkey uncle to find out a tiger. The tiger is saying, oh my God, this monkey is their friend. This monkey is their uncle. And this monkey is actually bringing me here. And these demons will eat me. The tiger is running away. It is a story. It is not our story. এই গল্পটি আমাদের দেশে যেহেতু সিংহ রাজা, তাই সিংহ দিয়ে করা হয়েছে। The same story is here, but the tiger is changed. In another country where this story was created, the tiger was the king of the forest. In our country, the lion is the king of the forest. So here, lion. আমাদের দেশে হয়তো খরগোশ দিয়ে করা হয়েছে এরকম একটা গল্প, আমাদের দেশে হয়তো অন্য কিছু দিয়ে গল্পটা করা হয়েছে। The story is the same. You will see, অনেক সময় আপনাকে বলবে আমাদের এলাকায় একটা গল্প আছে, আপনি দেখবেন এই গল্পটা আমার এলাকায় আছে, শুধু নাম চেঞ্জ। আপনি গল্প করতে করতে রাজশাহীর মানুষ, তিনি বললো ভাই আমাদের এলাকায় একটা গল্প আছে এরকম, আপনি দেখবেন যে এই গল্পটা আমাদের এলাকায় আছে, শুধু নামটা চেঞ্জ আর অ্যাকশনসটা চেঞ্জ। এখানে হি ওয়াজ এ ফার্মার এন্ড দেয়ার হি ওয়াজ এ টিচার। That is the difference between the two stories. So if you can make such stories, okay, so you will see that every day you can tell your students a new story. And if you can let your stories this underlying structure, if you let them know this underlying structure, you will see that they are writing stories. And when they are writing, they can develop their writing skill because they don't know what they will write. A story will take you to unknown destinations. A story will take you through some unknown alleys. You don't know in which direction you are going. You are walking in mystery. You are walking in many unknown situations. You are entering into many situations. You don't know in which way you are walking when you are going with the story. এই গল্প যে আপনাকে কোথায় নিয়ে যাবে আপনি নিজেই জানেন না। আজকে আপনি আপনার বাচ্চাকে একটা গল্প বলা শুরু করবেন, আপনি দেখবেন যে গল্প আপনাকে কোথায় নিয়ে গেছে আপনি নিজেও জানেন না। You didn't know that this story would take me through these alleys and ways. Okay, sometimes you will see that you are in fear, you are in anxiety, you are in tension, you are in mystery, you are in unknown situations. And look, you are expressing these things. So when you are telling somebody a kind of story like this, you are coming across completely new situations, difficult situations, unknown situations, unpredictable situations, and you are making the situations. When you will ask one of your students, and you will ask him to tell a story. Just imagine a story. Just suppose um, আপনি শুরু করে দিতে পারেন, ইউ ক্যান বিগিন এ স্টোরি, ওকে, যে একটা ছেলে আর একটা মেয়ে তারা একে অপরকে খুব ভালোবাসতো, তারপরে তুমি বলো, tell what is happening to them, they will end the story. Story development is there in your in the syllabus of class 9, 10 perhaps, okay. You will just begin a story, just give them a start off and let them finish the story. They are developing the story. And when they are developing the writing skill, because they have to describe many different situations, feelings, emotions when they are writing the story. Now I want to show you, আপনি আপনার ছেলেদেরকে আরো গল্প বলতে পারেন, বড় বড় গল্প আপনি আপনি শেক্সপিয়ারের লেখা গল্প বা যে কোনো লেখা গল্প আপনি ক্লাসে ইউজ করতে পারেন to spark the imagination of your students, to make them speak on such unknown situations. They will speak. How will you read a big drama in one class that has only 45-minute time? Okay, in 30 minutes, 40 minutes, it's possible for you to use a drama. Just you have to give them the story of the drama. And you can ask them to read the drama at home. If they find the story very enchanting, they will know the story in detail at home. You can tell them the story of Macbeth. এরকম করে আপনি একটা স্লাইড বের করে নিতে পারেন, just 2 pages slide. You will just tell them what is happening there. They will know the story. When Macbeth comes to the palace, the king greets him warmly, but to his astonishment, the king declares his eldest son as the future king of the country. Pleased with Macbeth's role in the battlefield, the king offers to become Macbeth's guest that night. Macbeth decides to kill the king at his home to become the king of the country himself. Macbeth writes a letter to his wife informing her of his plan. Lady Macbeth helps Macbeth in all possible ways, and they kill the king. Macbeth ascends to the throne. Macbeth kills Banquo. Later, he also kills many others whom he suspects. Many years later, the late king's sons defeat Macbeth and kill him. Macbeth fought bravely to his last. This is the story of Macbeth. Just very slowly, you will read the lines to your students. Your students will get the story line. This is called a story line. And now you can ask your students to think over the issue. And you can ask, they will ask you, why did Macbeth kill the king? Okay. Why did Macbeth kill the king? The discussion is started. And then you will see many things are coming out that you did not imagine, that your students are not imagining. They can make many, many questions on the basis of these few sentences. They can talk for a long time on this story. So this is how you can use a story in the classroom to spark the imaginations of your students, to make your students speak in the classroom. Okay, and you will see they are talking, they are speaking. I will give you one. I will give you one assignment, okay, today. Every semester I do this. You'll see writing a story is not very difficult, okay. You have to write a story in your assignment. You write a story. How to write? I am again giving you a story. What you have to do. Different stories are actually because of the selections of different signs put on the stories. I've already said a story is becoming different because different signs are put, different signs are put on this structure. Okay. আপনি মানুষের গল্প শিয়াল দিয়ে বলতে পারবেন, শিয়ালের গল্প মানুষ দিয়ে বলতে পারবেন, এই গল্পটা আলাদা হয়ে গেল। রহিম করিমের গল্প দুজন মেয়েকে দিয়ে বলতে পারবেন, হয়ে গেল। আপনি আমাদের একটি গল্প ছিল না, চাষি বউর গল্প, যে আমরা ছোটবেলায় পড়েছি। এক চাষি সে করতে যে জমি চাষ করতে যে মাঠে এক হাড়ি মহর পেল, সেটা নিয়ে এসে তার স্ত্রীকে বললো কাউকে যেন বলো না। আপনি এরকম করতে পারেন, গল্পটা চেঞ্জ করে দিতে পারেন যে স্ত্রী অফিস থেকে বাড়ি আসছিল, পথের মধ্যে সে এক ব্যাগ সোনা পেল, সোনাটা নিয়ে এসে তার হাজব্যান্ডকে দিল এবং বললো হ্যাঁ, যে তুমি যেন কাউকে বলো না। এভাবে ইউ ক্যান জাস্ট চেঞ্জ দ্যাট ক্যারেক্টার and you can develop this story. However, so this is how different stories we get. আমার স্টোরিটা কিরকম শুরু হচ্ছে, look, a boy leaves home after quarreling with his father. A boy leaves home after quarreling with his father, sets on a walk through the forest in heat of the sun and falls down a deep pit. Look at the story. A boy leaves home after quarreling with his father. বাবার সাথে গন্ডগোল করে একজন ছেলে বাড়ি ছেড়ে চলে গেল। Sets on a walk through the forest in heat of the sun. বনের মধ্যে সে সূর্য, প্রখর সূর্য, সে হেঁটে চলেছে। And falls down a deep pit, এবং একটা বড় গর্তের মধ্যে পড়ে গেল। The father comes out in search of his son. Okay, peers down the pit. Even the father came close to the pit. He looked into the pit, but he could not see because, okay, is unable to see, but is unable to see the sun because of the darkness. Because the sun set and darkness came, and that is why the father could not see the sun in the pit because of the darkness. At that moment, or perhaps the sun did not set. Okay, the pit was dark because the sunlight was not getting into the pit, and that's why the pit was dark inside. Although the father looked inside the pit, he could not see anything because the pit was dark. However, at that moment, when the father was trying to look into the pit, just at that moment, the sun has risen to the point directly over it. The sun has come just over the head of the father. That means on the face of the pit, and sunlight is now entering into the pit. Illuminate the pit's depth with its rays, allowing the father to see his son. After a joyous reconciliation, they return home together. এটি হচ্ছে আমার গল্প। তাহলে গল্পে কি থাকতে হবে? একটা শুরু থাকতে হবে। শুরুতে একটা সমস্যা তৈরি হয়ে যাবে। আর এই সমস্যাটা আপনি যতক্ষণ জীবিত রাখতে পারবেন, as long as you will be able to keep the problem alive, your story is moving. And finally, what happens? The problem has to be solved. You have to solve the problem. So a story will begin. Soon after the start of the story, a problem will appear. Then that problem will create many more problems. One problem is solved, another problem is arising. One problem is solved, another problem is arising. One problem is solved, another problem is arising. And this is how you have to keep the problem alive. And the more the problem will be alive, the more beautiful your story will be, the more interesting your story will be. The problems have to be connected to one another. অনেকটি এরকম যে মেয়ের বিয়ে ঠিক হয়েছে, ঠিক আছে, ছেলে আসতেছে, বিয়ে আজকে সবকিছুই ঠিকঠাক হয়ে গেছে, ঠিক আছে, টাকা পয়সা সব ম্যানেজ করা হয়েছে, কিন্তু হঠাৎ করে বাড়িতে একটি লোক অসুস্থ হয়ে পড়লো। আমার গল্পটা এরকম করে শুরু হচ্ছে যে ছেলে পক্ষ আসতেছে, মেয়ের বিয়ে, everything is fixed, everything is done, everything is going on smoothly. Suddenly, অথবা মেয়ে পক্ষ এখন ছেলে পক্ষ আসেনি, কালকে বিয়ে হবে, আজকে আমাদের সব প্রস্তুতি চলবে, suddenly one man has fallen sick, the man is taken to a hospital, the problem is created. So you are in a kind of uncertainty whether you would be able to complete the marriage in a befitting way, because if the father of the daughter is sick, ill, or if the mother of the daughter, or if the brother of the daughter is ill, then it will be very difficult for you to celebrate the marriage in a proper way. So you are in a kind of uncertainty. So tension is created. You have to create tension, and the tension will be so tense that your palpitation will increase. Okay. So the father is taken to the hospital. Hospital নিয়ে যাওয়া হলো. A serious problem has arisen. ডাক্তার পাওয়া যাচ্ছে না, problem, you have to deepen the problem, you have to intensify the problem. You have gone to the hospital, but another problem has risen. What is the problem? The doctors are on strike, so you are not getting any doctor. So the problem is deepened. You are now rushing to another place, a private hospital. After going there, you see that their doctors are also on strike. So what will you do? The problem is getting terribly serious. You are going to another place, and there you have got a doctor. The doctor is demanding a lot of money, and you have to give them money just at that time. So it is another serious problem. Keeping the patient there, you are coming home and you are selling the ornaments that you bought for your daughter's marriage, and you are giving the money to the doctor. So doctor এর কাছে আপনারা আসলেন, অথবা ornaments বেচলেন না, আপনি জমি বিক্রি করে ফেললেন, এসে you are giving that money to the doctor, your father is cured. You are happily coming home. আপনি বাড়ি চলে আসলেন. If you are coming home happily and if you don't have another problem, then your story is ending there. After coming home, you will see that the ornaments that you managed for your daughter's marriage are stolen. So another new problem is emerging. Oh my God, if the ornaments are stolen, then how will you get your daughter married to the boy? Because you know they have already fixed that you have to give this amount of ornament on the day of the marriage. So if the ornaments are stolen, what will you do? What will you do? So it's a serious. Another problem is arising. One problem is solved. Another problem is arising. So again, you are in a kind of uncertainty whether you will be able to get your daughter married tomorrow or not. So what will you do? Perhaps you had something, a valuable something that you are selling, managing money, and you are buying ornaments, and you are coming home. On the way, so the problem is solved. If the problem is solved here, and if you don't have any other problem, your story will end here. So when you are coming home, on the way, okay, you made an accident. In the accident, you became unconscious, your ornaments are lost again. So somebody is taking you to hospital, again the ornaments are lost. Again, new problems are arising on the scene. You are again solving the problem somehow. Okay, again you are solving the problem. এই সব কিছুই হলো, কিন্তু এত টেনশন দেয়া গেল আপনার মেয়ে অসুস্থ হয়ে পড়েছে শেষে. The daughter who will be married tomorrow is now seriously sick because she could not take all these tensions and anxieties. So how will you get her married tomorrow? So this is how one problem is solved, another problem will arise. One problem is solved, another problem will arise. This is called binary opposition. And in this way, the story of a drama, the story of a film, the story of a novel moves forward. আপনি ইন্ডিয়ান সিরিয়াল দেখবেন যে আজকে একটা সমস্যা, এটি সমাধান হয়ে গেল, আর ঠিক ওই মুহূর্তে আরেকটা সমস্যা শুরু হবে। আজকের এপিসোড শেষ, ওটা দেখার জন্য আপনি কাল পর্যন্ত অপেক্ষা করবেন। You'll be waiting for tomorrow. So this is how they are extending their story, enlarging their story. One problem is solved, another problem is created. One problem is solved, another problem is created. এই যে কোথাও কেউ নেই, কিছুদিন আগে নাটক দেখলেন বিটিভিতে, সেখানে কি দেখেছেন? হ্যাঁ, এই প্রবলেমটা সলভ, ওই প্রবলেমটা শুরু। সুবর্ণ মোস্তফা বিয়ে করতে পারছে না এতদিন, কারণ এখানে মামার বাড়িতে আছে, মামাকে এরকম একটা টেনশনে ফেলে she cannot sit for marriage. She cannot sit for marriage because her uncle is in problem. তারপরে প্রমোশন হলো, তার আঙ্কেলের সমস্যার সমাধান হলো, এবার সুবর্ণ মোস্তফা তার বিয়ের কথা ভাবতেছে, সে যাচ্ছে তার সেই প্রেমিককে বলতে যে my problem is solved, but when she is going there, she sees that her boyfriend is now in a rickshaw with his student. তার ছাত্রীকে নিয়ে সে রিক্সায় চড়ে ঘুরে বেড়াচ্ছে। তো another problem is arising on the scene. তো সেখান থেকে বেরিয়ে যখন এই যে বাকের ভাইকে এসে নিতে চাচ্ছিল, she was dreaming to have বাকের ভাই as her new man. Another problem is arising. So one problem is solved. এই বাকের ভাই গল্প আরো সামনে নিয়ে যাওয়া যেত, বাকের ভাই ফাঁসি দেওয়া যাবে না, বাকের ভাই ফাঁসি না দিয়ে বাকের ভাই বেরিয়ে আসলো, নতুন একটা প্রবলেম শুরু হবে। When you are tired of enlarging your story, when you think that it should come to an end, just the problem is solved and you are not creating a problem, then your story is coming to an end. Every story is moving in that way. Okay, so when you are developing a story, কি করতে হবে? একটা প্রবলেম তৈরি করতে হবে, আর তারপরে প্রবলেমটাকে আপনি যত গভীর করতে পারবেন, the more intensified you will make the problem, the more interesting your story will be. Okay, So whether your story will be interesting or not, heart-throbbing or not, attention-drawing or not, is depending on how you are creating that means managing the problems. So management of problems has to be done very proficiently, skillfully, if you want to make your story very interesting and mind-blowing. If you want to draw the attention of people, audience, to your story. এমনও মানুষ আছে, গতকালকে ওই যে ইন্ডিয়ান আমাদের এক কলিগ ছিল, বলেছিল যে আমার মা, মানে তার মা, সে কলিগের মা একটা সিরিয়াল হতো না ইন্ডিয়াতে একসময়, স্টার জলসায়, যে একদিন এক দুর্ঘটনায় দেখতে পারেনি একটা পর্ব, তাই পাশের বাড়িতে জিজ্ঞাসা করছে আজকে কি ঘটেছিল রে, একটু বল দেখি। She was so involved in the story that one day she missed one episode. That's why she could not sleep. She went to her neighbor's home and was asking her neighbor what happened today in that episode. This is how you have to develop a story, a plot. The problem has to be developed in such an intense way that all the audience will be compelled to see what is happening there. এটি অনেকটি নদীর এপার থেকে এপারে একটি নৌকা আসার মতো, ঠিক আছে? নদীর এপার থেকে একটা নৌকা ছেড়েছে, আর boat has started from this side, it will come to this side, it will cross the river. The river is very turbulent river. Okay, serious waves are blowing on the river. এবং এই নৌকা মনে হচ্ছে নৌকার এই যে স্রোতের উপর উঠে, you are feeling when you are standing on this bank of the river, you are feeling that any moment the boat will get sunk in the water. Terrible, big waves are rising in the water. A serious storm is blowing. Every moment you are feeling that this is the last time the boat is going to get sunk in the water. If you are getting the boat sunk in the water, then the story is a bad story. Okay, the boat will again come up on the wave. Again it will seem to get sunk in the water. Again it will come up. Again it will seem to get sunk in the water. And we audiences, or we spectators who are standing on the two banks of the river will start sweating in fear that my mother is going to get drowned now. My son is going to get drowned now. This is the last time for my father. My father will not be able to come back alive. She will die by getting drowned in the river. That is how you have heard one term, যে খুব অ্যাকশন আছে, ঠিক আছে? Suspense. Have you heard the name of suspense? Suspense হচ্ছে যেটা, okay, a kind of fear, a kind of horror, a kind of feeling, intense feeling will be working in your mind. You will always feel that, my God, it is going to happen. You will, in fact, tremble in fear or in horror or in an anxiety when you will see that this thing is happening. অনেক মানুষ কান্না করে ফেলে না, সিনেমা দেখতে দেখতে কান্না করে ফেলতেছে. He has burst into tears. And এমন মানুষ আছে মরেও যেতে পারে, এমন প্রবলেম হয়েছে যে he will die. He will get heart attack. It might happen in that way. So this is how you have to. এই স্টোরিটা দেখেন, আমার এই স্টোরিটা কি করে আলাদা। Keep your microphone off, please.
কি আছে সেটি থাকলে বা কবরতে কি হয় দ্যাট what is it that said me that this এই যে কবরতে দ্যাট আর একটু বাদ যাবে আসবে না দ্যাট।
So can you hear me?
That.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
But I think you cannot hear me because somebody is talking. Please don't talk, and if you talk, please keep your microphone off so that you can hear me. So this is my story. I'm giving you a topic of your assignment. Okay, look how you will make this story different. This is your story. We can replace father son. আমরা ফাদার সন থেকে আলাদা করে ফেলতে পারি। একটা মেয়ে তার মায়ের সাথে ঝগড়া করে বিয়ে করবে না। যে ছেলে বাবা মা দেখেছে তার সাথে বিয়ে করবে না, বাবার সাথে তো পারছে না, মায়ের সাথে ঝগড়া করে বাড়ি থেকে বের হয়ে চলে গেল, গল্পটা আলাদা হয়ে যাচ্ছে। It was a boy, the boy is replaced by a daughter. A girl leaves home after quarreling with his father. আমার এই গল্পটি হচ্ছে দুটো চাকরি পেয়েছে মেয়েটি, ছেলেটি, এই চাকরি করবে ওই চাকরি করবে, বাবা বলছে মাস্টার হও আর ছেলে বলছে আমি ব্যাংকার হব, এই নিয়ে বাড়ি থেকে রাগ করে চলে গেল, ঠিক আছে? আর অথবা এমন হচ্ছে ছেলের বিয়ে দিতে চায় না, ছেলে আজকেই বিয়ে করতে চায়, সে রাগ করে চলে গেল। আর এখানে হচ্ছে মেয়েটির জন্য যে ছেলেকে দেখা হচ্ছে সেই ছেলের সাথে মেয়েটি বিয়ে করবে না। So she leaves home after quarreling with his father. গল্পটি সেটি নাও এরকম হতে পারে, মেয়েটি চাকরি করতে চায়, বাবা তাকে চাকরি করতে দেবে না, you are a daughter, why should you get a job, you will go out of home, that should not be done by a woman, our tradition culture does not support that. This is how a quarrel has arisen between the father and the daughter, or between the mother and the daughter. So the girl lives on quarreling with his mother. এই কোয়ারেলটা যে কোনো কিছুর উপর হতে পারে, একটা মোবাইল কিনে দেওয়া নিয়ে হতে পারে, একটা 3 পিস কিনে দেওয়া হতে পারে। এই গল্পটি আপনি চেঞ্জ করে করতে পারতেন যে একটা ওয়াইফ তার স্বামীর সাথে ঝগড়া করে চলে গেল, কেন ঝগড়া করলো, পাখি ড্রেসটা কিনে দেয়নি বলে। পাখি ড্রেসটার পরিবর্তে আপনি বলতে পারেন ওয়াইফটা চাকরি পেয়েছে, চাকরি করতে দিচ্ছে না হাজবেন্ড, সেটির কারণে আপনি চেঞ্জ করে ফেলতে পারেন। সে এখন মা হতে চায় না, হাজবেন্ড ওয়ান্টস হার টু বিকাম মাদার না, সিচুয়েশন চেঞ্জ করে ফেলতে পারেন। কিসের জন্য করতে পারেন, বাড়িতে একটা ডিপ ফ্রিজ কিনতে হবে, কেনার টাকা নেই, কিন্তু ওয়াইফ বায়না ধরেছে, স্বামীর সাথে গন্ডগোল করে বাপের বাড়ি চলে গেল। So the story may begin in any way, and just you have to create a problem. You need to create a problem, and in any way you can create the problem. Okay, so আমি এটাকে ফাদার সানে পরিবর্তন করতে পারি। ফাদার সান ক্যান বি রিপ্লেসড বাই ডটার মাদার, ফাদার সান ক্যান বি রিপ্লেসড বাই father, sorry, son mother, father son can be replaced by wife husband, father son can be replaced by two brothers, younger brother and senior brother. In any way you can change it. এখানে sets on a walk through the forest in heat of the sun, আমরা heat of the sun পরিবর্তে আমরা করে দিতে পারি in darkness of the night. এটা ফরেস্ট আছে, আপনি এটা মরুভূমি বানিয়ে দিতে পারেন। এটা ফরেস্ট আছে, এটা একটা রোড করে দিতে পারেন। falls down a pit, আপনি একটা পিট আছে, পিটে না, এটা একটা প্রবলেম ক্রিয়েট হতে হবে। দিস ইজ গোয়িং টু বি আ প্রবলেম, falls down a deep pit, আমাদের ডিপ পিটে না, একটা মেয়ে বাড়ি থেকে বের হয়ে এসেছিল, এরকম রাত্রে একা একা অন্ধকারে হাঁটছিল, পথের মধ্যে কয়েকজন দুষ্কৃতিকারী তাকে ধরে নিয়ে চলে যাচ্ছে। দিস ইজ হাউ ইউ ক্যান ক্রিয়েট দ্য প্রবলেম। এখানে একটা প্রবলেম শুরু হয়েছিল when she was walking alone in the darkness of night, some miscreants caught her and was kidnapping her. The father comes out in search of his son, the father comes out in search of his daughter, or the mother comes out in search of his daughter, or the husband comes out in search of his wife, peers down the pit, ওই যে পিটের মধ্যে পড়েছিল, আমার তো এখন মেয়েকে ধরেছে কয়েকজন মিসক্রিয়েন্টস, সেই বাগানের মধ্যে খোঁজাখুঁজি করছে রাস্তার ধারে, খুঁজে পায় না, কারণ মিসক্রিয়েন্টসরা মেয়েটাকে ধরে একটা গাছের নিচে রুমাল দিয়ে মুখ বেঁধে রেখেছে। She cannot speak, although the husband is crying loudly, where you are, please come out, I'll allow you to do the job, or you will be allowed to get married to the boy you like, or you will be allowed to be what you want to be, you will be allowed to do what you like to do, so come out. The wife or the daughter or the son wants to speak, but he has been caught by somebody, he has been gagged with a piece of cloth, that's why he cannot, অথবা কোনো একটা প্রবলেম তৈরি করতে হবে। You can create the problem in any way you like. কিন্তু কি হলো, at that moment the sun has risen to a point directly overhead, illuminate the pit's depth with its rays, allowing the father to the sea. প্রবলেম আপনি নিয়ে যাবেন নানান ভাবে, এরকম করে প্রবলেম সামনে নিয়ে, আমি প্রবলেমটা জাস্ট ছোট করেছি, আমার এখন কি হচ্ছে, আমি প্রবলেমটাকে সলভ করতেছি। ওই সময় মাথার উপরে সূর্য উঠলো এবং সূর্যের আলো পিঠে পড়ার কারণে বাবা দেখতে পেলো আমার মেয়েকে গাছের নিচে ধরে রেখেছে, অথবা আমার ওয়াইফকে গাছের নিচে ধরে রেখেছে, আমাকে প্রবলেমটা সলভ করতে হবে। গাছের একটা ডাল ভেঙে পড়ে গেল, বাংলাদেশের সিনেমায় দেখবে একটা সাপ যাচ্ছিল, সাপটি কামড়িয়ে দিল, অথবা মেয়ের একটি বানর পোষা ছিল, বানরটি তার সাথে সাথে এসেছিল রাখবে, অথবা তার একটা পাখি ছিল, পাখিটি এসেছিল। আমাদের বাংলাদেশের সিনেমা যেগুলো আমরা দেখি, we see this, the snake is biting the criminal, or a dog, okay, but or the police were on a patrol, they were whistling, they were whistling, and hearing the whistle, the miscreants ran away, leaving that woman there. The husband and the wife are united, come back with a good reconciliation. So here it is the story of a boy and a father. It can be the story of a husband and wife. It can be the story of a daughter and a mother. It can be the story of two brothers. এখানে হচ্ছে এরকম করে সমস্যা হচ্ছে, I am creating the problem in a different way. Whatever you do, the takeaway is that you have to create a problem, and the problem has to be made very, very serious and deep. The deeper you will go, the more interesting, the more enchanting, the more mind-blowing your story will be. যদি শুধু একটা প্রবলেম করেন, গল্পটি 1 মিনিটে শেষ হয়ে যাবে। এটা আমার 1 মিনিটের গল্প। আপনার মাঝখানের এই গল্পটি, এটা যদি আমি এখন ইন্ডিয়ান সিরিয়ালের মতন বড় করি, তাহলে একে তো মিসক্রিয়েন্ট নিয়ে যাবে, এবার সে এক জায়গায় বন্দি করে রাখবে, সেখান থেকে সে পালিয়ে যাবে, আর একটা ঘটবে। This is how things are going forward. So your assignment is that you will write such a story. Okay, you will give a title to your story and you will write a story. This story will have a problem. The problem will be a very serious problem gradually, and finally you have to solve the problem, and finally this story will end in a happy way or in a tragic way. If you are making a tragedy, then it will end in a tragic way. If you are making a comedy, it will be ending in a happy way. It will have a happy ending. So it is depending on you whether you are going to write a tragic story or a comic story, whether you are going to write a comedy or a tragedy. You can write it in the form of a drama, or you can write it in the form of a short story. You can write it in the form of a novella. Whatever form you may follow, you have to write a story and doing this. Start the story, okay, and then create a problem. The problem will be followed by other problems. One problem is solved, other problem is coming. One problem is solved, another problem is solved. And the problems have to be very interesting problems. Problems have to be related to our society so that people learn from your story. Okay, so you will write a story in that way. This is what your assignment is. So thank you very much. Do you have any question?
Within how many words?
আপনি কি আমার স্ট্রাকচার বুঝতে পারছেন? সবাই কি বুঝতে পারছেন কেমন করে একটি গল্প লিখবেন?
আর আমরা কত শব্দ?
কিছুটা বুঝতে পেরেছি স্যার।
গল্প এরকম করে তৈরি হয়। আপনি এখন থেকে সিনেমার গল্প লিখতে পারেন, ইচ্ছা করলে রাইটারও হয়ে যেতে পারেন। আমি হচ্ছে না কেন, তাহলে বলবেন স্যার আপনি হচ্ছেন না কেন রাইটার? আমি হচ্ছে না কারণ আমার সময় নেই বা আমি তো মন বসাতে পারি না। আমি শুরু করলে আমার মনটাও জানালার বাইরে চলে যায়। My mind goes out of the window. I cannot concentrate on it, and I cannot take it as my profession. And that is why many people who can write many stories are not becoming writers. But everybody is a writer if he tries. আপনি চেষ্টা করলে আপনি রাইটার হতে পারেন। আমেরিকাতে ক্রিয়েটিভ রাইটিং নামের একটি কোর্স আছে, ইংল্যান্ড আছে, they are doing it. In Bangladesh, in some private university, they have studied creative writing. This mechanism they are taught, and after writing, learning these mechanisms, they are writing stories. You can also do that. So write a good story and go on writing, okay, until you are feeling satisfied. There is no word limit. Write a story and you will go on writing until your story comes to a logical end, until you think you have satisfied it. You will read the story back and you will see whether it is becoming a good story. You will see whether the ending is a satisfactory ending. You will see whether the story is becoming a good story. You have created a problem and the problem has to be solved. It has to come to an end. So now it is completely depending on you how much you will write, how many pages you will write, how many words you will write to write your story. I'm ready to take 100 pages if you can give me. Okay, I'm ready to get 1,000 pages if you give me. I'm ready to take 7 pages if you give me. If your story becomes a good story. Short story to beshi hawar darkar nei. It does not need to be a big story if you're writing a short story. But the story has to be reflecting these things that I have said.
স্যার,
Yes.
শর্ট স্টোরি যদি দেই, শর্ট স্টোরির মধ্যে এই বিষয়গুলো জাস্ট রিফ্লেক্ট করা যাবে। যদি আমি বিগ স্টোরি না দিয়ে শর্ট স্টোরি লিখি, আমার সব পয়েন্ট গুলো থাকে।
হবে, you can do that. You can do
Yes,
that.
sir.
Okay, short story হলো কোনো সমস্যা নেই. I don't have any objection. You can write a short story, you can write a drama, you can write a short novel, which is called a novella. You have to create a problem. The problem has to be interesting problem. It has to draw our interest, our attention, our mind. I have to get involved in your story, and finally it has to end. Another thing is that your story has to have a meaning. আমরা গল্প পড়ি কেন? প্রত্যেকটা গল্পেতেও আমরা কিছু শিখি। We learn something from a story. আমরা হৈমন্তী পড়ি আর অপরিচিতা পড়ি আর বিলাসী পড়ি আর যাই পড়ি না কেন, আমরা সেখান থেকে তো কিছু, আমরা হ্যামলেট পড়ছি কেন? Are you not learning anything? Are you not learning anything when we are reading from reading Macbeth.
Sir, when is the deadline of our assignment?
So you must give a lesson. Your story I'll read, and I want to learn a lesson from your story. The deadline of your assignment is, okay, আমরা তো যেহেতু এখন ফাইনাল পরীক্ষায় যেতে পারছি না, আমাদের আরো দুটি ক্লাস হবে। আপনারা শেষ ক্লাসও দিতে পারেন বা শেষ ক্লাসের পরের সপ্তাহে দিতে পারেন। ঠিক আছে? ডেডলাইন বলতে একেবারে what date is today? Can you help me telling me date?
Sir,
Today is
29th of
29th.
August. 29th of
What,
August.
what will be that date on the last
29th
class?
of August.
Yeah, today is 29th of August. What will be the date of our last class? You will have 2 more classes.
We don't know when will our semester and last class will be.
Last class, you will have 2 more classes, okay? You are getting 2 more weeks.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Thank you,
thank
sir.
you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You are getting 2 more weeks. And
Thank
there
you,
will be
sir.
1 week for presentation after these 2 week classes, okay? You may have
Sir,
another class, or teachers may.
স্যার অ্যাসাইনমেন্টের টপিকটা রাখবে বলবেন?
কোনো টপিক নেই, টপিক হচ্ছে গল্প। একটা গল্প লিখবেন আর গল্পের একটা স্টোরি থাকবে। কিন্তু কেউ যেন লেখেন না দি স্টোরি, দ্য টপিক অফ মাই অ্যাসাইনমেন্ট ইজ স্টোরি। আপনার প্রত্যেকটা গল্পের, যেমন হৈমন্তী একটা গল্পের নাম, পোস্টমাস্টার একটা গল্পের নাম, হ্যাঁ, সমাপ্তি একটা গল্পের নাম, বিলাসী একটি গল্পের নাম, হ্যামলেট একটা নাটকের নাম, শেষের কবিতা একটা উপন্যাসের নাম, দেবদাস একটা উপন্যাসের নাম, এরকম করে গল্পের একটা নাম থাকবে। দ্যাট ইজ the title of your assignment. You are writing a story. Your story has to have a name. Try to understand it clearly. Your story has to have a name. Okay. Your story has to have a name. So that name is the title of your topic. Title of your assignment. You do not need to write any title, another different title. The title of your story is the title of your assignment. Write a very good story.
Okay, sir.
Okay, okay. Can I wrap up? Can I end my class?
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes,
So,
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
the day of your last class will be the deadline of your assignment. Okay. Try
Thank
to
you,
write
sir.
it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for today.